You want to do the intro, Chris?
Since you and I have both done it, why don't we throw Taylor under the bus this time?
I was thinking that. I like that idea.
Alright. What is this?
Down.
Day 3?
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, it's Louder Than Podcast, and it's day 3 in a row of us casting about E3.
Not quite in a row, but you're right.
Well, yeah, it has been in a row, right?
No, we missed a day.
Wednesday doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination.
I mean, it might as well be.
So we have Chris, B.
Hello.
And other Chris, Ferox.
Who is also Chris B, but we'll ignore that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And me. I'm Taylor.
Alright,
and
good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, we're starting with PC Gamer.
Oh yeah, and we're without Eric. We should probably...
yeah.
We know that, but we should probably clarify.
Yep. We'll pretend he's doing something productive to help out the show, but use your imagination.
Okay, so where did we leave off?
We had just finished the conference prior, which was Ubisoft? And we're moving on to PC Gamer.
I think PC Gamer had a really good conference.
Yeah, I mean, they had a solid host. 2 hosts, actually. And,
hell yeah, Day 9!
I was not really a big Day 9 fan until this last year. Eric got me into him. But I like him the more I watch him.
I wasn't really super aware of his content just because he played a lot of games that I didn't growing up. But a friend of mine got us into him, and he's great.
Yeah, he was a really good host.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no Nina Struthers, but then again, is there anyone?
No, no one is.
Okay, so
yeah, so you guys start with your notes.
Okay, so the first game out of the gate was Satisfactory, which appears to be a colonization sim with industrialization elements.
Chris, have you played Factorio?
I have not, no.
It's first-person 3D Factorio. I cannot stress enough, that is a good thing.
Yeah, Factorio's really great, and it's like the easiest way to explain it is it's just 3D version of it, and it's not top down.
Yeah, Factorio
it seems like
was
it's exactly the same.
It was like a survival, like top-down version of like SimCity. Well, SimCity's top-down as well, but like instead of anything being, oh, you just build this and it works, you have to automate everything.
Is the original Factorio on PC?
Yes, it is. We should definitely play it. I think that would be a fun group game because it has co-op. Basically, like the 4 of us could drive around the planet, and actually, here's a good way to put it: it's SimCity meets Pikmin. You have to get off the planet, so you're basically like scavenging for things and trying to put together automation systems to harvest enough materials to build things to get you off of the planet. And with co-op, it's cool because you can like delegate responsibility, and like you can build something, and then if Taylor and I see it, we can make a suggestion about it and help you implement like new strategies to build it in a way that could be a little faster or less resource intensive. It's a really fun game.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of the staff is related. I don't want to like, you know, call like clone or anything like that, because Factorio just like took a lot of things that already existed and made a really cool mashup of them. So even if this is just another dev's take on what Factorio kind of did, I'm okay with it, as long as, you know, it's done with all due respect and no actual ripping off is happening.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with doing this one. I don't think it's getting the 2-point hospital treatment.
Right.
Yeah. It has co-op online, and there's going to be a closed alpha. I don't know any more details other than that.
For what, Satisfactory?
Yeah.
Yeah, this coverage was fairly early on in the development, so we're probably not seeing more of it for a while.
The next game I'm very excited for, but also it was NeoCab. That, and then there was another like cabbie game towards the end of the conference, which I thought was kind of ironic.
Yeah. It's a really neat format, though, because taxi drivers are kind of like bartenders in the sense that they see and hear some shit.
Yeah, except the difference between the two, the other one was called Night Call.
Right, which one was that?
It's like the one, it's set in France, it's like noir, neo-noir.
Oh, yeah.
That one seems more kind of like Valhalla, but like you're in a taxi. This
Right.
other one, Neocab, seemed to have more of like a I guess like a stronger story behind it. Like
More of
not,
like a traditionally moving story.
you're not just like talking to people. There's like other stuff besides that.
I mean, what was it called? The Last Light, or I guess Passenger, whatever it was called. The Last Light is more noir-esque, and there was another game that I can't remember the title of. It's supposed to be episodic, but it canceled after 2. It was like black and white noir inspired with the heavy investigation elements, almost like LA Noir. But
Oh, okay.
not 3D or Rockstar going bankrupt type.
Right.
I'm sorry, Bondi going under, not Rockstar. Rockstar can't perish at this point. They're too big to fail.
Yeah.
He said confidently. I like Rockstar.
Yeah, I have confidence in Rockstar. And what was the other one? Night Call. That one's kind of like I can't remember the name of the game all of a sudden, but it seems like it's inspired off of an indie thing I'd seen on Steam a ways back, where you're just driving a car and all the narrative gets Ubered to you in your cab.
Oh. I didn't know that was a thing.
Like, not literally Ubered to you. I'm just
No,
Yeah.
yeah. But still, I did not know that was a thing.
It
Yeah,
seems
especially
like
with-
both of them are based, like you don't leave your cab. Like everything's based within the cab. But like one of them is more like cyberpunk, the other one's neo-noir, and the
1940, basically.
you roboted, what did you say?
So,
Uh-oh.
I was saying
Uh-oh.
that one is... How bad is it?
Okay, now you're good. You're good.
Fitting that I was broke again, I was asked to bring up song.
Oh, it's happening again.
I just blame your fan and live in peace.
Oh my god.
The 1940, basically. That's the only difference.
You're still roboting.
Yeah.
All I heard was 1940s.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out and back in. Hopefully that is it.
Okay.
Louder than podcast. Technical difficulties.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. So I was just saying it's like a century apart story, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've shit
Also,
on a lot of... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say with Neocab, it actually has some like Detroit Become Human type antics in there as well, where it's like
Yeah.
an android cabbie, or was the
Supposedly... Well, she's looking for her friend who's, like, under investigation and has a bounty on her head and
okay, it would
stuff.
be a gynoid, not an android. Then I apologize.
I mean, still, though, your point stands.
And that's why I said it seems like that one's a little bit more like story driven, and Night Call seems more just like you just talk to people.
Right. Well, and I've
A little
shit...
bit more simple.
I've shit on the design flaws, or what I think are flaws in, like, neo-retro games, because I think the idea of things like you know, oh well, we have like retro graphics. It's like, yeah, but you have all this modern space in an install where you can make a game like tens of gigabytes big and nobody bats an eye. And look at what all these older games did with the restrictions they had. That's how I feel about single setting games. I think they're a great opportunity to be like, look, put your fucking money where your mouth is and do something daring.
It's like Birdman or Phone Booth. Just these
Right.
projects that inherently limit themselves are forced to stretch their creativity.
Yeah. And like, granted, you know, I was talking about retro graphics, but I think you get where my point ties in, that like, you're making yourself a little kneecapped here. At the expense of, you know, oh, well, we have to get creative with our setting and stuff, but you have so many opportunities to tell a story that's gonna be memorable because I've experienced all of this in a fucking cab. So I'm excited. I think those are gonna be pretty neat. Also,
Okay,
did you play Valhalla, Chris?
Valhalla?
The bartending game?
I did not know. I was thinking of Jotun.
Okay, you need to play Valhalla. Very similar concept. The whole thing takes place in your bar and in your room after your shift.
Okay. So now we move on from the excitement to get another battle royale.
Yeah, great.
Maverick's Proving Ground.
I want to start this battle royale thing. I don't know if you if I said this in our chat or not. I downloaded Fortnite last night because we have a PS4 upstairs in the family room.
Yeah, you said downloading for the memes. What did you mean?
I was like, well, basically, you know, it's free, and it'll give me something that, because I don't want to load a bunch of games up there because I don't play up there a lot. I have my own PS4. So I figure on the family PS4, it's something free. My dad might give it a shot because he likes casual stuff too. And I'm like, you know, it's something that I can play when I don't know what I feel like playing, but I'm just sitting in the family room bullshitting with somebody and not paying attention to what I'm playing. I got 3 rounds in and uninstalled. Game's trash.
Yeah, I got a ton of friends that keep trying to drag me in, and it's just not for me.
Battle Royale is not exciting when somebody can just rocket launcher you before you've picked up a gun.
So, like, what happened? Like, what was it that drove you to uninstall?
First round went okay. It was admittedly my fault what went wrong. The game defaults you to, fill a squad instead of solo, which I think is dumb, but I'm not gonna blame them entirely for it. So, I had a party, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would I have a party here? Oh, I'm in squad fill and I'm away from literally everybody on my team. They're probably really mad at me. So whatever. And I went through it and ended up running into 2 people with a pistol. Now granted, I do not like controller aiming, and apparently Fortnite has keyboard and mouse settings on PS4, which is admirable to say the least. I'll give them that. But I ran into 2 people. I had a pistol. They had machine guns. Not only did I put up a fight and almost down one of them, while I was down, one of them ran right over me and ignored me, and the teammate couldn't hit me because I was crawling left and right, back and forth in a bush. This is the caliber of player you can expect in Fortnite. Meanwhile, I start up another round, and I just literally, got killed. It happens. But I was like, that was really annoying to just airdrop, start finding things, and then you just fucking eat it. Then, next one, I'm going up the stairs, I see somebody, I start unloading on him with a decent gun I picked up. It was like a good machine gun. He just rockets me. I die instantly. Good game. The game is just built on this idea of who knows what you'll find. You may get fucked in the first 2 seconds of the game, and I get why that could be exciting. That's partially what compelled me to even give it a shot, but it gets so wacky so fast, it's just not fun. In my opinion. So yeah, no, fuck that game. I uninstalled it.
Maybe I'm being harsh on it, but the way I see it is, imagine Fortnite being Quake with worse movement controls.
Yep.
And do I need another explanation on top of that? I mean, they add building mechanics.
Well, actually, yes, you do. There's no skill in that dictates what you will or will not have available in your kit.
Yeah, Fortnite does not have an appeal to me, but I guess it's doing something for a wider audience.
I have to admit, when I booted it up, I was like, hey, I kind of get it in the first couple seconds. Like, it doesn't feel that terrible to control. Like, there's already the rush of where am I going to find my weapons? Am I going to run into people? But then you realize, like, the map is so big and there's so many people, you're almost guaranteed to have somebody watching you while you're watching somebody else. And
yeah,
there's just no strategy.
You only get the one spawn. I don't like these kind of roguelike elements in a competitive online first-person or third-person shooter.
Right. Oh, and another thing that pissed me off, this actually got me to uninstall as well. Like, that sealed the deal after that bad round. While I was airdropping into that bad round, I just, had the default character. And my friend was over who was, he dabbles in the game. He agrees with me. It's subpar, but it's something to do once in a while. I was like, wait, I dropped earlier than these people. Are their parasols faster than mine? And he went, yep, that's a thing. You could get a faster parasol. So not only am I already up to the whim of did I pick a place that actually has weapons, but there's people who can drop to it faster than you can and loot it that probably got them from loot boxes they purchased. The parasols, that is. They literally have a paid advantage over me. Nope. Uninstall.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's Fortnite in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah, I have better ways to spend my fucking time. If it was fun, I was like, there's no reason for me not to give it an honest shot. It's free. I'm not an asshole.
The only reason I even still have the thing installed is that I want to try the survival mode when it goes live. And outside of
do not
early
even
access.
bother. Why? Why would you ever? It has, like, at least 5 different premium currencies.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Oh, fair enough. I can't wait to hear you talk about this then. So anyway, Battle Royale. I figured that would be worth a little bit of a segue. I've actually played a Battle Royale game now, and I hated it.
Yeah. Maverick's Proving Ground is setting itself apart from the rest of the tribe, or the, what would you even call this? I'm not going to call it a genre, it's just a format.
The crap pile.
Maverick's Proving Ground is escaping from the landfill by setting itself aside with a 1,000 player lobby.
Oh yeah. Why?
Because PUBG proved that they can make servers work so easily.
I'm glad that I brought up my Fortnite attempt, because I want to say 100 people was like too much. Not that it was like the game didn't go on too long. I think my first or second round, like, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that might have been because I was in squad fill. It said no, I think in one of my solo games I got to 50 people left, and it didn't take that long, because you figure, like, if everybody lands near somebody and one of those people is going to get killed, you know, you thin out the herd pretty quick. But my problem still stands that, you know, one of the things that felt like it was holding the experience back when I was trying Fortnite was that there was just always the opportunity that somebody was right fucking behind you to the nth degree, like taken to an extreme that's laughable. That for everybody that you see and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go after them, well, is there somebody behind you? And I know that in real life that's how it would happen, but like it doesn't make for compelling gameplay.
It has the same time to kill as something like Battlefield or Call of Duty, but there's no respawning.
Exactly, yeah.
So you die quickly, there's rarely recourse unless you have, I don't know, you're like Neo and you can see the code of building everything in 5 directions at once.
Right. And like, when you're playing something with randomized elements that's single player, it's fun because you're having, well, supposedly having fun, and the worst that happens is you die and you restart, like, boo-hoo. But with stuff like Battle Royale, like, if you want to be a little competitive, and I'm not saying everything has to be perfectly balanced, I've enjoyed games that have been, like, not super balanced before, that you still compete against your friends. That can be fun. But when their Battle Royale is kind of made to be competitive, like in a more serious way, like you want to win. It's not just, ooh, hey, I might win. It's you're actively trying to win. And I don't know, it didn't work for me in that regard. So I can only imagine with 1,000 people, that's gonna feel just gross.
Yeah, also there's no big building mechanic in this one, and I think
God.
it has some sort of platforming involved, like larger jumps, but
Okay.
there are not that many details about it, especially, like, I think this is paid access, or paid early access, or something like that.
Which I think is just the dumbest. Pay us to beta test our game that's going to eventually be free when we hammer out all the kinks. I can't
wish
say
I had
go
next
fuck
week.
yourself hard enough.
You know, once upon a time, being a beta tester was something that you were paid for. Now we pay for the privilege.
Yep. Also, I want to point out another problem with the 1,000-person servers. You either have to make the map big enough that it'll fit everybody without feeling crowded, or small enough that it doesn't feel empty when everybody's dead.
Like, the footage they showed had draw distance that was absolute crap, like the entire map was covered in hail or fog.
Right.
So
and I know
think
that
you
they
could
kind of they solved that problem with the like the poison fog that keeps getting like lower or closer and closer.
Yeah, I think this one's going to try and hide the density of the players per area in what's basically just a blizzard.
I guess I could see that working, but it sounds like it's potentially nightmarish.
Yeah, just, I don't know, it doesn't do anything to make me more interested in Battle Royales.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the most neutral thing I can say about it.
Ugh.
So, moving on to good news, we have the Forgotten City trailer.
Wait, the Forgotten City trailer.
Either you catch this?
I think I did.
I did, but I
refresh my
didn't.
memory.
I don't remember because, like, okay, the notes. Literally, the only thing I wrote down was like, it's coming out in 2019. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I admittedly don't remember, but keep in mind, I think that's all just from like watching so much stuff at E3 that I'm bound to like have some things that I weren't. Bleh, some things that I wasn't already acutely aware of slip my mind, even if I would be excited for it.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, Microsoft and PC Gamer had so much material in there. It was like as big as any 2 or 3 other conferences.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what was this?
The Forgotten City is a Lovecraftian mystery/horror game.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like it's going to be a full game coming out next year.
Okay.
I like the art direction, and I hope they do Lovecraft right, because there's a lot of bad Lovecraft adaptations out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody's like hard for it right now.
I mean, people basically just use Lovecraftian as a synonym for horror. They're completely missing the point.
Yeah, you kind of have to make it like otherworldly, you know, the ramblings of an insane man kind of design for it to qualify.
We live in a world where a South Park sequel gets Lovecraftian better than most horror games.
That claim to be Lovecraftian, yeah. Wait, what exactly was the name of it?
The Forgotten City.
Yeah, I'm looking up the stuff for it. Oh yeah, this looked really cool. I do remember it now. I'm excited for it. I hope they do it right, but honestly, it's from what I saw, even if they don't do Lovecraft style, it could still be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the visual design goes, I think they've got the style right. I just want to make sure that the story is holding together.
Right. Did you get a bit of an Amnesia feel from it?
Yeah, that's fair.
From the lighting, well, not the lighting in that it was super dark, but the way that like there were some ominous like dark parts of corners of rooms that were like something's gotta be there, and just the loneliness. I think that could hit a lot of the same notes in a good way that Amnesia did. We can only hope the story is as strong, but
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only played the first Amnesia, but I thought it had a strong story, so.
So next I have Star Control Origins, but I don't have anything else in here. Do you guys remember it?
It's just space exploration kind of thing.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be VR enabled, right?
Don't know.
I like those kinds of games, but I find that I don't often seek them out. But when I hear about them, I'm like, I need to play more games like that. It's very weird.
It's like Eric trying to constantly sell us on Stellaris.
Oh my god. Good point.
Yep.
But yeah, like I'm totally like up for games like that. I just never end up being like, yeah, today's the day.
Also, if I can make a comparison to No Man's Sky, then it takes a while for these games to get going, so I don't know if I'll check it out immediately, but usually they become feature-rich and competent with time.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
just,
I think there's the, like with a lot of areas of entertainment, there's the people who are gonna like it so much based on the concept alone that they'll just, you know, they'll go for it and be happy with whatever's in there by default. And then their suggestions and their feedback will build the game. I think this is one of those areas where it's actually very okay to rely on patching and things like that.
So we'll let the concept tryhards be our early adopters, save us some trouble.
Absolutely. And that's good for them because, you know, I feel like there's also an inherent pleasure for them in being like, funny enough, the first explorers, you know, the frontier, the pioneers of this new experience, and they're like, well, our feedback means something because we were the first ones here, and that's cool. That's totally cool. I get that.
Yep. The USS Early Accessor.
Well, yeah, there's that. That's a boat I don't want to be the crew of.
It'd probably be safer than any ship on Star Trek, let's be real.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because there'd be nothing to do.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've mentioned Star Trek, let's mention our first red shirt, which is neither a reveal nor any semblance of a proper like release date. Hunt Showdown, which has been in early access for a while. It's had multiple trailers. It seems like they're just reminding us that you can pay for it early.
Another ad.
And the stupid thing is, I thought this was out since they brought it to the show, and it's not.
So even worse, like...
Yeah, it's like, it looks cool. It's like it should be like Van Helsing, or a first-person, what was that game? Blackwatch? Like, a better Blackwatch.
Oh, Darkwatch?
Darkwatch, thank you.
For, like, the PS2, right?
Yeah, I got that.
I thought it was a pretty good game for the time.
Yeah, it's like, imagine Darkwatch with, what is that other thing called? All my comparisons are broken, my brain's not helping. It's just like a better Darkwatch, basically, with Van Helsing, or even some like Ninja Warrior type elements, or Shadow Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
So I was excited. I was excited until I realized it's still in early access. It's not even in beta yet. So yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest tragedies of modern gaming, is that it's not that the games look bad, it's that they never like get finished, or they come with predatory monetization practices. The games themselves look like look at Battlefront. Battlefront, by all accounts, should have been awesome. It was a cool game. I have seen people play it. Like I've had people bring their copies over to my house and show me the game, and it looks by all accounts like a game I would want to be a part of, and yet I want nothing to do with it. And I feel like that's what you were basically just saying, is like, look how awesome this looks. Too bad it's going to be garbage, not by way of the game actually being garbage, but because of, you know, greed / laziness. Yeah.
I was excited briefly, and, well, not anymore.
Yep. So I guess we'll see what happens with that, if anything happens with that.
Yep. Okay, what do we have next? Archangel Hellfire.
Which
I
one
did
was
not
that?
take any other notes on this. Why did I get away with that?
Yeah, I did the same thing, actually.
Okay, it looks like a mecha game of some sorts.
Wait, Archangel Hellfire. Let me
It's
pull up the old Google. I think the problem with me is that a lot of the names aren't standing out in my head, but when I see them, I'm like, oh yeah, that!
Wait a second.
Did Chris just die?
Wait.
Oh.
Okay, I was just looking at what I wrote down.
It's out.
And... Oh, it is?
It released August 2nd, 2017.
What?
E3 later.
Wait, are you... What?
Is it a... Maybe it was just an update that they were...
Let's see.
Official launch on June 17th. Hang on.
It said, oh, it's leaving early access, but it doesn't say it's in early access. It says it's fully releasing July 17th.
So it's been purchasable for 10 months, but it's only just getting a full release next month.
But it's... No. Look at the Steam page. It is not in early access.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. There's no early access tags.
What is going on?
Do you want to yell at day 9? See if that helps?
I am not blaming Sean for this.
I don't know what to tell you. I barely took any notes on this one. I'm gonna keep Google open because I think that's gonna be a running theme.
So I just realized something. We were talking about
Sinking City instead of the Forgotten City, weren't we?
yes.
Okay.
The sinking city is the Lovecraftian one. The Forgotten City is something completely different.
Yep. And to be fair, that's a pretty understandable mistake to make, especially considering we were just talking about Overload. Okay, yeah, no, I'm looking at this one. This looks interesting, and from the tone of the trailer, I think they got the Lovecraftian elements pretty believable. I don't know if they got it right.
The way they described the gameplay is it's like there's no like clear direction or objective. Like they don't hold your hand. Like you have to do everything yourself.
Right.
And investigate everything. Like,
yeah, it's one of the weird things about it for my taste. It's an open world horror / mystery game. Like I'm really curious how they're going to structure that.
Yeah.
And I'm optimistic too. I like that as a new idea that they're going to be trying. Forgotten City looks very interesting because it's a whole, like, this whole city got fucked up. It's basically like, you know, Pompeii. Everybody's been just encased in their own death. And, you know, can you fucking save them? And there's going to be a horror element. I think that this could be really cool. Both of them.
Hopefully we can keep the rest of the titles straight.
Alright, dude, we have Google open. I mean, this is... We're getting it right eventually. What the fuck, Archangel? I'm still not over this.
Okay, so after Sinking City, we actually have one of my favorite games of the conference, even though they didn't bring anything to it, Warframe.
Oh yeah, what were they even, like, showing?
They were showing their next story expansion.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Sacrifice.
Megan was the host for that? Or
They had the Ginger for the host this time. They didn't get Rebecca.
Right. Isn't it her, like, her nickname in the community is like Auntie Megan?
What?
Yeah, that's what the host said. Like, the community members call you Auntie Megan, and she's like, yeah.
Auntie, I thought you said anti-Megan.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's the auntie. It's just like how Rebecca's the space mom.
That's adorable. But yeah, I'm probably gonna give Warframe a shot at some point. A friend of mine wanted to give it a shot.
Dude, I don't know if you have Twitch Prime right now, but you can actually get a Trinity Prime off of it.
Oh yeah, I do. I saw that. Remind me to redeem that.
Yeah, Eric, I have to figure out why his PC has trouble playing Warframe, but after that, I'm all game for running a crew with you guys.
That would be fun.
I main healer, and I don't have my original PC stuff anymore, but I'm restarting, and I have my main now.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. We could stream it too.
Yeah, it's my favorite free-to-play game out there, and I have not spent a dime on it.
Well, because it's actually free to play, like...
Yeah, it's like, after 200 hours, the only reason I spent money on it is because I felt like I was stealing from them for not spending anything.
Dude, I have to tell you, though, my friend really wanted to try it. He's like, okay, this does look good. I've heard amazing things about the devs. You know, let's give this a shot. He uninstalled it because... He is self-admitted a little tinfoil hat with certain things. Their parent company is a Chinese chicken manufacturer. Like, they sell chicken meat, but also they sell video games sometimes. And he's like, I don't know, man, something about that makes me really uncomfortable, and I cannot in all good conscience risk supporting that. And I'm like, I honestly... Look, I'm not gonna not support them because I'm sure by now everybody's found out about that, and now we know that they've jumped through the proper hoops to be, like, not shady about that. But I also totally understand that that is weird and a little uncomfortable. Why is a Chinese poultry factory running your game studio?
That is an excellent question.
Right? Like, whew. That's about as weird as it gets.
What I gotta say about it is that it is one of the best free-to-play games I've ever played, and it's right up there with the hack-and-slash platformer type things. Like, I cannot actually think of a better platformer in recent years that felt more engaging to move in.
If anything, if I had to draw a comparison just from what I've seen of both games, even though I haven't played them explicitly, Metal Gear Rising looks a lot like it was inspired by Warframe. Because Warframe came first, right?
Warframe came first, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's the way
actually a
Raiden
really fair business
controls.
model. Say again?
The way Raiden moves and seems like he controls in Metal Gear Rising seems kind of Warframey.
Oh, if you think Raiden is fast, just wait till you actually learn all the different flips, slides, and other maneuvers in Warframe.
Neat.
You may never touch the floor for an entire mission.
Oh my god. Is it PvE, PvP, or both?
There is a PvP mode, but it's really off to the side. Most of it's PvE.
Oh, cool. Like, is it like MMO raidy type stuff?
Yeah, what do they call them? I forget the name they have for their raids, but it's basically like you have groups of 4, and each of the groups contributes to the overall goal. A sortie, that's what they call it.
Oh, okay. Holy
You
shit.
basically get these groups working towards community goals. It's like a daily in WoW like that, where it's just a collective accomplishment.
Right.
And tons of rewards either way. It's very fair business model, and
Because I'm sure I've said this a million fucking times on camera, let alone off camera, but I really love the raid model, and I would love to experience more games with it, so fuck it, free? I think I have Warframe installed, but I'll make sure after we cast. Okay, so Warframe's getting new story expansion, which is actually pretty big news then, considering I didn't know how PvE focused it was.
yep, and they only do like one story thing, maybe 2 a year. They don't get much, so hopefully this is a big one.
Right.
And also they pulled a Bethesda where they were showing for their own convention at E3.
Yeah.
Oh, TennoCon.
I wonder if they're gonna have chicken.
Well, I mean, they do have Kubrows. Maybe they could get a Cuckoo or two. Cuckoo? How do you pronounce that, Zelda? Anna?
Cuckoo?
Cuckoo, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I kind of zoned out for a few minutes.
You missed nothing.
There's a big list of Sega on PC things.
Whoa, what?
You didn't see
Yeah.
that?
Wait, when? E3 or otherwise?
No.
It was in the PC conference. It's just
Oh, yeah. No, I thought there was, like, more stuff I missed. I'm sorry.
No, it was Valkyria Chronicles 4, Shenmue 1 and 2,
Yep.
Shining Residence.
Yep.
There's Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami.
Yes. Fucking... Do you know why that's massive news?
No.
Okay. Yakuza's never been on PC, and it is the shining example. If you were ever to tell anybody, like, oh yeah, no, Japan really doesn't play PC games too often. Oh, well, you know, what do you mean by that? You would be like, look at Yakuza, it's never left the PlayStation platform. It's never even been on, to my knowledge, it's never been on a Microsoft platform, a Nintendo platform. It is a very Sony game, and to the point where, like, that proves how much they buy Sony consoles and how much they buy consoles in general. And now they're two of the biggest Yakuza games in recent years are being ported to PC.
This is like the level of
massive.
importance, like GTA coming to PC from Rockstar.
Yes.
Where they were on
Yeah.
console.
Absolutely. And I'm not gonna theory craft, but it does theoretically open the possibility of, like, other Yakuza games, older or newer. And I'm very glad I waited, because I almost bought it on PS4 when it was on sale, but I was like, I don't have the... It would have been worth my money, but I was like, I really don't have the time to play it right now. I'm just gonna wait. And now it's $20 on Steam.
Glorious.
Hell yeah, brother.
And then
So-
also Bayonetta and Puyo Puyo Tetris
Yes.
are also coming.
Well, Puyo Puyo Tetris has
Bayonetta-
been out, but... Oh yeah, so is
Well,
Bayonetta. But I think... this is more of an understandable, like, look, here's a bunch of our games that are or will be available on Steam. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, Sega, we still publish games, we don't just shitpost on the Sonic Twitter.
Yeah, we promise.
Okay, so was there anything else from Sega, or are we moving on?
No, that was it.
Okay, so Killing Floor 2 is getting an update.
Neat. It's a game I've always meant to try. I bought the first one boxed about 13 years ago when I didn't have a PC that could run it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this kind of stuff, but I think I got Killing Floor 2 free on PlayStation Plus a couple months back.
I think so.
I haven't tried it yet, but I have it.
Oh, fuck Killing Floor 2. Can we talk about the shark game?
Maneater.
Yo, the world's first shark PG.
Yes.
I am so in. You have no idea.
You have a skill tree.
I'm so fucking excited for that game.
It's perfect. Like, it's gonna be like cheesy and like have all these like movie tropes of like like the girl, like the blonde girl in like the skimpy bikini is gonna be the first one to get eaten.
Right. If you have anything to say about it. Like, as the player, I do decree. But yeah,
Just
no.
find an unsuspecting local, maybe skinny dipping on the surface or sitting on a donut, and then you eat them up.
Oh yeah, like the camera pans to like under the water, but also you can see the top. Yeah, no.
Just like, I need a way to recreate that Jaws poster, and then I'm happy.
I think that game looks like the perfect balance of, this is a stupid fucking idea, are you seriously doing this? And wait, it actually looks like it's gonna be a fun game.
It's actually brilliant because I don't think this has ever been done before.
Yeah, the closest I can think of is an Evolution style. What was it? It was an asymmetrical PvP game where you had people playing marine animals and the other guys playing divers.
Yep, that was a thing.
Only this one doesn't seem like you can choose between the two factions. It's just you're a shark.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I am all about this fucking game. Give me more of it. Give me more of it now.
After that, we had a publisher revealed, and their name is literally Untitled Publisher. So, a point for creativity, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna give it to them that I think that's actually a brilliant name, because
so now people can't just leave their forms blank; they actually have to fill it in, or they're gonna get copyrighted.
Well, that. But did you notice like the big part of their pitch was that like, look, the publisher's job is like boring.
They said publishers are boring, games and developers aren't.
Yeah. So like calling yourself Untitled Publisher is like saying like, hey guys, like, don't pay attention to us, pay attention to the people that we're hiring to make amazing games. They're the ones who deserve all the recognition. And I think that's actually pretty admirable. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody has to follow that, but like, it's cool.
Could always use more hands-off approach from the publishers.
That's what I mean. It's definitely an approach that shows that it at least implies the possibility of, hey, we're not as money hungry and like short-sighted as a lot of these other companies.
Hint, hint, EA. Hint, hint, Microsoft buying Ninja Theory.
Yeah, exactly.
Precisely.
So, and what did they reveal again?
There were 3 games there, one of which was available immediately.
Oh, I bought that.
Overwhelmed, that's right. It's, what is it, a 2D Doom-like?
Roguelike.
It's kind of like a run and gun, like
Yeah.
kind of like a fast-paced thing.
I think it's a mini Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think you do get more abilities to help you explore. So it's kind of like, in tone, design, and genre, it's kind of like Baby Axiom Verge.
Okay.
It's very sci-fi, it's very pixelated, it's Metroidvania, from what I saw of it, and it's platforming and gunplay, so that's pretty much Axiom Verge. Which, by the way, great game.
Oh, dude, I got the Steelbook for that one, the collection.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Ooh. I want to see pictures of that.
Yeah, I have the full, 12-game lineup from, there's a bunch of PC games like Nuclear Throne and,
Oh, yeah.
Punch Club. What were the other ones?
I need to play Punch Club. I have it, but
I'm not crazy about it, but I have it, I guess.
I think I got it in a bundle, like most of my games that I haven't tried yet, but I did want.
I mean, it's worth trying, but I'm not going to be the one to recommend it.
Right.
Okay, so Overwhelm was the only thing they had available immediately.
Right, what were the other
moving on,
ones?
Morningstar and Bravery Network Online.
Bravery Network looked really cool, the dance-off game.
Yeah, it was just I wasn't sure, like, is it like if it was like a fighter or something inspired by a fighter? Like, their trailer was kind of vague.
Oh yeah, but I think showing something that early, you kind of run into that possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't excite me, but I guess it's unique. Morningstar just seemed like a weird choice for me because it's a post-cyberpunk farming game.
The way that I like described it was schizophrenic farming.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
I think it could be
Really
neat,
weird. What?
It looks unique. I think it could be neat.
It's like Minecraft with a straitjacket. What else do you need?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all we have from Untitled Publisher. Moving on, we have Jurassic World Evolution, the park builder.
Yes, which I,
So
again,
hype.
beyond the shitty microtransactions day one. And honestly, I probably wouldn't even blame the devs for that. We were talking about this the other day, and my friend was like, yeah, it was probably some shit that Warner Brothers pulled. Or whoever.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they're not doing quality controls on the movie, then they're probably just looking to squeeze whatever they can out of their IP.
Right, so they're probably like, oh hey, like, you can't put these dinosaurs in unless you sell them as DLC and pay us part of the profit. Like, I could totally see that happening.
I would
Go ahead.
probably say they're dicks for this, but I would give them some credit. I wish they sold you the game based on eras. It's like if you buy in chunks based on Jurassic, Triassic.
Paleozoic, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that'd be a dick move, but I would get it.
It would at least be like
It's like,
kind
hey,
of a novel way to package it, if
it's
nothing
like,
else.
You want historical authenticity in your park?
You
want
fucking
cordon
get
things
it.
off? You get it.
What were you gonna say, Ty?
Unrelated, I was gonna ask if you guys had any more info on Stormland.
Stormland, I just have the stuff off the trailer, but we were talking about that the other day when we couldn't figure out the name.
Oh,
Yes.
And it's apparently done by Insomniac, so the same guys that
Yeah.
did Ratchet and Clank and
Oh,
the new
yeah.
Spider-Man game.
I like their work. I mean, I'm also a massive Twisted Metal fan, so there's that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not crazy about their last foray into Ratchet and Clank. It seems like their soft reboot was, how can I put this? A little too soft and fluffy for the franchise.
Right.
But it was clearly way too Pixar-ified for the movie, and
And you know what I find really funny about that? I noticed when I was younger and the games were, you know, still relatively new, like we're talking the original Ratchet and Clank trilogy, I had noticed, like, wow, these are getting gritty.
yeah, meanwhile, the new one, there's literally only one scene in the movie that's not in the game. And they keep snapping back and forth between the in-game engine and the actual film.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, the Ratchet and Clank reboot was just a couple months, I think, off from the movie tie-in.
There was a
And
movie?
the movie based off, what was it called? The game based off the movie based off the game. That's what they did.
What's happening?
Insomniac found a budget, and apparently it came with some strings. What can I tell you?
Oh, fair enough.
I was not crazy about the game, and the movie I liked even less.
Ugh. That's foreboding.
So they changed too much, and they changed not just like the events, but also the tone and the characters. They
Right.
inserted new ones while bringing back old characters and just overstuffing it without actually layering any. Oh my!
It was just like a free-for-all of content that wasn't
Yeah.
really content.
It's one of my favorite franchises on the PS2, and now it's just like B-tier nonsense that you kind of get as shovelware on a PlayStation 4.
Right. That's depressing.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully they do better telling this Metabots Meets Dark Void story.
Yeah. What's
It's
next?
VR.
Oh,
Next
VR.
week we have No, it was the VR was thing for Insomniac.
No,
After
I
that,
was
we had
saying
the-
I didn't know it had VR, or I don't remember them saying that.
I don't know if it has a way to play without VR, but they are definitely telling you how it was built for it.
Okay.
After that, we already covered Nightcaller, and then after that, Sable.
I am so excited for Sable.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I missed it, but is there anything to this thing other than the visual art direction? Because I'm not sold yet.
They said that excuse me, it's based on like solitude. There's no combat, there's no leveling. It does have like a story, but
all exploration.
Yeah, it's all exploration. Everything's pastel, which is cool. But they said that all of the music is done by a band called Japanese Breakfast.
She's amazing.
Yeah. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, Chris, I didn't think about this explicitly when they were announcing everything, but now that we're talking about it, I think one of the interesting takeaways I have with Sable is that a lot of games when they do any kind of format reminiscent of Zelda seems to kind of go for the older Zelda format, you know, the top-down, exploratory, whatever. But I think this will take a lot of what it was started with the 3D Zelda games and, you know, taken to the nth degree in Breath of the Wild and just take some of the combat out of it. So I think there's going to be a lot of moving around, puzzle solving, really enjoying finding things in the world without the threat of something coming up and being like, hey, are you having fun? Just kidding, now you're not. I'm killing you. And I like combat in those games, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying something that this will have unique to a 3D Zelda will probably be the sole focus on exploration.
Well, fingers crossed that it's good then. I was never a big Zelda guy. The only one I spent much time in was Hyrule Warriors.
Well, that's a fantastic game, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you're a Zelda fan, I'm hoping this is good, but...
But do you see what I'm getting at? Like, since you're not a Zelda fan, that might be why it's kind of lost on you. I'm not saying it's a Zelda clone, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about the art direction, but I guess I just need to see more to get sold on it.
Yeah. And that's fair. But I'm excited.
And next up, we have Star Citizen, when $200 million in crowdfunding and 28,000 DLC bundles aren't enough. Release the game. Why are you at conferences with an incomplete product still?
I don't get it. How long has that game been on the table?
What, 6 years? When did it come out? 2000? The crowdfunder was what, 2012?
Something like that?
$200 million over 6 years, and they still don't have a finished product.
There is literally no excuse for that.
Meanwhile, you have to pledge $1,000 to see certain store pages. They have to buy a $27,000 DLC bundle. But it's okay, guys. We got a trailer coming out with more.
Wait. What?
If you pledged $1,000 or more to the campaign,
yes,
they enabled you to access a certain founder store, which included a bundle of all ships. And that bundle of all the ships in the game, which is like 100 or something, costs $27,000.
Why?
So the bundle of $27,000 plus the $1,000 to even access it means it's a $28,000 bundle to actually get all the ships. And that's not everything, that's just all the ships.
What the hell?
I hope all of the people responsible for this, not the innocent people who are just doing their jobs, but I hope anybody with an actual stake in deciding this goes dead broke. Garbage human beings. Holy shit. Like,
I don't know, like, when companies do that stuff, like, it's funny once, and then it's like, it's not funny anymore. Didn't GTA have something like that?
No. Saints Row had the, like...
That was it, Saints Row.
The Century Edition.
But here's the thing. You got $1 million worth of things.
And several cars.
Yes.
Like several cars, plastic surgery, skydiving.
That's when it's funny.
It's like Dying Light did it, that it was questionable, but still within the joke, where it's like, you can get a writing credit on the movie and a screen appearance. It's like, wait, Dying Light's doing a movie? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What? Did you just sneak an announcement in there? Like... No,
this happened...
No. I mean, like, when they said that, it's like, you get a writing credit in the movie and an appearance. Wait, what movie? Did you just announce a movie? Like, was that your movie announcement? And, you know, I never like to come off as we're the show that's like, oh, my consumer outrage knows no bounds. But, like, this is like, come on. I think we've been pretty generous with a lot of things.
Oh, this is
I
ridiculous.
have nothing else to say about Star Citizen. I mean, I think that
Fuck Star Citizen is what I have to say about Star Citizen.
Okay, so
Okay,
do you care
well,
about
next.
discussing hardware here because I have Acer in my notes. But
Yeah, they did some heck stuff.
I mean,
And
the big
we
takeaway from
can
them
get
was
to that, but really quick, I just want to say they had the Drake's Cake duck,
Yeah, they fucking did.
and that was really weird.
It's your boy.
better or worse than the Schick Razor.
Better. Leagues.
Better.
I mean, at least you get a pastry out of it.
Yeah.
Good point.
So yeah, we'll skip past Acer for the time being, and honestly, I don't have much for the hardware to go over. Genesis Alpha 1 got dropped. Is that out yet, or was it just a trailer?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'll check to see if it's out.
Yeah.
Why does Steam keep asking for my age recommendations?
I can actually explain that.
What's this?
Steam. Because it's their way of protecting their asses legally so that they can say that if a child logs onto the store, which I agree with this approach.
But I'm logged in on the app.
Yes, but that way, if somebody takes mommy and daddy's Steam account, they can say, look, we still had a block in place.
Okay, then I guess that's the way they're going to do it. This game is not coming out till September 4th. And it just seems like a roguelike with some building elements to it. Actually, it seems more like Subnautica the more I'm looking at it. Like the idea of having to build a base that's able to sustain life, including you. Okay, so I guess if you want Subnautica and you don't like water...
yeah. Or you're saving all your water-based purchases for the Shark RPG.
Yeah, get your Hydro fix with Maneater, and get your Vacuum fix with this, Genesis Alpha 1.
What's wrong with us?
Nothing.
You're right. We're perfectly fine. So what's next?
Don't Starve's getting another expansion, Hamlet.
Good for them. I like Don't Starve. I'm not good at it, but I like Don't Starve.
I think I missed Don't Starve Together. I didn't try that one.
I haven't tried it yet either, but hey, I'm game if you guys are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hamlet looks like it's going to add villages, which I guess means more NPC interactions that are non-hostile.
Oh wow, that's actually an interesting step for Don't Starve, considering every little bit I've played of that game has been solitary. Very solitary.
I don't know how big they're going to be. I mean, it's just a hamlet. It's not like a full-on colony or anything.
That's still way more than we've had so far. I don't think Have there ever been, like, non-enemy NPCs?
Well, you could piss off the pig people and make them enemies, I guess.
Yeah, that counts. But still, my point stands.
It seems like a big step. I guess you're right, yeah.
Yeah, they've never really done something like that, so anything is big in that regard. Interesting.
After that, they showed off Just Cause 4, which we've already talked about from 2 other conferences. Is there anything else to say?
No.
Grappling hooks, my guy.
I want to ride the tornado. I want to grapple onto something that's caught in the tornado and then ride it. I don't care how impractical it is.
No, I agree. It's the ultimate rodeo.
Let's see. The Walking Dead Overkill managed to get its last character trailer out.
Is that one of the story ones?
No, this is Overkill. It's more like shooter survival than it is story.
Oh. Okay.
Which, I don't know, I mean, they were showing some dynamics, like the ability to distract zombies, how to herd the crowds, but,
that could be neat. I don't know. I'm not too invested in it, but I'm not against it either.
I don't see why it has to be Walking Dead, is the thing. It
Well,
just seems like
yeah.
it could be any other zombie game.
Especially because, in my experience, I know a little bit about the show in the comic. I'm not, like, an expert. But it seems like every Walking Dead property that comes out is literally, like, it has nothing to do with any of the characters. Literally the only thing you're doing is calling the zombies walkers. Other than that, you could have put any other name on it.
And they include one character from the comics or from an early season of the TV show as a cameo, so that they really sell it's the same universe.
Oh, see, I didn't know they even went that far.
Like,
but still,
Telltale Season 1 of The Walking Dead had Glenn in it for the first episode.
Oh, that's right, it did. You're right.
And I think, what was it, Survival Instinct had you doing the Dixon brothers, Daryl. And
Yeah, and like that's
Whoever-
barely enough to sell me on it being like believably a Walking Dead game. Like, hey, we're here. All right, bye.
Yeah. However, what they did have after that was Telltale's Walking Dead getting its final season, and I'm not ready for this. I'm not.
I never played any of them.
It has my favorite Walking Dead character in the game, and I know for a fact she's going to die in the end. I'm not ready. Like,
Just
I'll tell you this.
don't play it. It'll never happen.
I was not sold on the comics. The TV show started to bring me in. Telltale actually made me a Walking Dead fan.
Wow.
With season 1 of their game.
That's impressive.
With my 2 favorite characters in their game, Lee and Clementine.
I need to play those.
And Clementine's basically the main character of every other game in that franchise.
It's funny. You know what the only Telltale game, modern Telltale game I've played is? Well, of the story-based ones. Sam and Max.
It's a good one.
It's a fucking great one, dude. Sam and Max is so fucking good.
So I will say this for the Telltale ones, they've still got my favorite character, and she carries it a lot, but the games have been getting progressively worse.
Oh,
It
really?
feels like you have less control over the story, and like even season 2, it felt like there was only one chain of events that was narratively fulfilling.
Right.
So they branched off, but they didn't work properly for the characters or the events.
I find Telltale story games really funny. They're good, and I have the utmost respect for them. But it's just too funny to me because they're just visual novels for non-anime fans.
Yep. With
Like-
QTEs thrown in.
Yeah, that's really it.
QTEs in a jank engine disguising visual novels that have no art direction.
When you could even make the QTE argument in like other gameplay formats in games like Zero Escape has the escape rooms, but it's still a visual novel. You know, Danganronpa has the rhythm games, which by the way I'm playing that very soon. But yeah, like it's just visual novels for people who don't like anime.
Yeah, I guess they're killing the franchise now while they can because their engine is dated, their story's falling apart, and people are finally getting sick of the Telltale formula.
Yeah. Which is a
So
shame
I'm not-
because it's not a formula that never that necessarily has to ever go away. You just have to make sure you keep making good stories.
The thing is, though, they make like 5 games a year, and they cover all these different properties, like Game of Thrones, Wolf Among Us.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think the format's boring. I think that Telltale's just working themselves too hard. Like,
Yeah, and that same overworking is coming at the cost of the games, where they come out in these broken states that need to be fixed.
yeah. Like that. It's almost like saying like, yeah, we should kind of stop this whole books thing. Books are getting stale. Like, no, books aren't getting stale. It's just that a lot of authors don't have fresh ideas. Same thing with Telltale. It's just a storytelling format. It's not necessarily one that needs to stop. It just, you need to like get your shit together, Telltale, and like stop just, oh, every year let's do a Batman one, fuck it. Like, no, you didn't have to. I'm sure it's fine, but like, calm
And also,
down.
let's do Guardians of the Galaxy, and we also just announced Stranger Things.
Right, like, calm down, take a breath, and actually write something.
I get where you're coming from, but it's like comparing the format to the entire medium. I get what you're saying, though.
Right.
So yeah, this is like the entry that got me into the franchise and the company, and I guess it's coming to an end.
This will be interesting. I look forward to hearing your impressions.
Hopefully, since they're actually wrapping things up with this entry, unless they're pulling a Resident Evil where the final chapter doesn't mean final.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when they wrap things up, they're actually able to go off in wildly divergent directions to have endings that mean something, instead of all of them
good
just being like,
point.
instead of them just being narrow at the start, wide in the middle, and then they narrow again at the end. Like, I want something that splays out into crazy, unpredictable stuff.
Which is how visual novels usually end. I mean, yes, if there's a sequel, one of them is canon. And I'm surprised they didn't do that, actually. From what you're describing, it seems like there's one real ending. Usually. But the way visual novels often work, and what I love about them, it's like the Choose Your Own Adventure books, how, like, all the endings are wildly different. Just one of them is the actual ending. But it doesn't mean they don't do weird ones off to the side that don't actually happen.
Yeah, just send them some R.L. Stine Choose Your Own Goosebumps books.
Yeah, honestly. Like, we don't even have to get that fancy with it. Just fucking read that one where you're in the science lab. The crazed monkey. That's my favorite one.
Okay, what else do we have after The Walking Dead? I mean, I'm gonna try it, but I have no expectations for it. I just hope they do my favorite character justice.
Right.
Oh, they had I don't know how to pronounce it.
Noita?
Noita, yeah.
It's
yeah.
their
It's a
tagline was
roguelike.
every pixel is simulated.
Okay, what does that mean?
I think there's a lot of environmental destruction, and it means it's like grains of sand, like the individual water fragments. I don't know why they're stressing it as every pixel is simulated, but it just seems like a lot of
they
environmental.
really they're really trying to like hammer that in, but like I didn't really know what they meant by it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer again right now, and they have all this stuff where it's like solidifying lava to make obsidian into a bridge, and there's like starting to chip away at a stalactite so that it falls and then cracks the floor that's too thick for you to break on your own.
Mhm.
It
That
just
could be
seems like
cool.
a Metroidvania with a lot of environmental destruction. Imagine a Metroidvania with red faction.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
see it.
and we'll see how that ends up actually working out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more like a curiosity right now. I'm not sold on it as far as like originality or gameplay goes. It just seems like a novelty.
Right.
But hey, I'll take originality where I can get it.
Hmm.
Oh, and then the big one,
Mm-hmm.
2 Point Hospital.
Yeah.
I'm so
Fuck.
fucking excited.
Fuck. Like, man, Theme Hospital just set me up for a lifetime of getting excited over running a virtual hospital.
Like, not only has there not been a really good, well, okay, that's a lie. Planet Coaster is really good, but
Yeah.
the
The sim genre has been dwindled.
Other than that,
the releases
that's been,
have been
like-
good, but there haven't been as many.
Yeah, it's just there hasn't been as many, and there hasn't been, there's been like Planet Coaster and stuff, but the ones that are more like Zoo Tycoon, what were some of the other tycoons?
Sim Ant.
Sim Ant. They're like, you could like walk into a Walmart like PC section and there'd be like mechanic tycoon, lemonade stand tycoon, like
Right. And I
anything.
think that got replaced by the simulator trend, and that's that I think is where we're kind of like, what happened? Oh yeah. You said car mechanic, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's simulators now. And like the difference is simulators are almost taken for a meme, whereas sim games were like, no, these are actually supposed to be fucking fun.
So, and there hasn't been any like hospital sims since.
There have been a couple that I have one or two of them on Steam, but I haven't tried them yet. I don't know if
But at
they're any
least
good.
This one is like, it's realistic in the sense that like you have to like train, like have your employees like train and study and stuff, but it's also like
Right.
it's
Then
also
there's the air quotes realism of like a unibrow crawling off of one of your patients
Yeah.
and trying to spread around the hospital.
Right.
exactly.
Like there's enough of like, well, and that's kind of how Theme Hospital was, you go in and the fucking ailments were like bloaty head, slack tongue,
Turtleneck where you have to just pull a guy's head out of his neck because it got sucked in too deep.
yeah, and yet you also had to manage your taxes, your property acquisition, the rate of
they're
which you
talking about, like,
expanded.
having to hire janitors or something to make sure when inspectors came they wouldn't file like a pollution violation or something.
Yeah, so like,
Oh, also there was I don't know if either of you noticed it, there was like a Sega arcade cabinet in like the lobby.
no, I didn't notice that. Holy
Yeah, it
shit.
had Sonic on it, I think.
Awesome.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, I'm so fucking excited for this game. Like this is quite literally like it's the Planet Coaster, I think, to Theme Hospital that we've been waiting like 10 plus years for.
Yeah, agreed.
Also, the devs seem really passionate about it too. So.
Yeah, they do. No, I'm very happy. I see good things coming from that game, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And Sega, honestly, like, for as much shit as we could give them about, like, Sonic and stuff, ha ha ha, they've honestly been killing it. Like, I don't often boot up a Sega game and go, oh, fuck. Unless it's Sonic.
I mean, their in-house stuff is questionable lately, but as a publisher, they're actually pretty decent.
And they're very fair. I don't ever see them do stuff where I'm like, you're making me pay for what?
Yeah, like, they gave away a free Sonic shirt in the last Sonic game.
Yep.
And also, their social media is actually starting to get to, like, Wendy's caliber.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think they might know what they're doing now that they're not actually making that many games.
And, you know, I'm not totally happy with what they did with Sonic Mania because I've heard a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about how they made Christian abide by a very strict set of, like, you have to use just as many old stages as you use new stages. You know, you have to use this, you have to use that. And you have to put the DRM in, which pissed a lot of people off. But, like, Sonic Mania being kind of an outlier here, they've been a pretty fair publisher and developer.
So, is there anything else about 2 Point Hospital? Or
Give me it. That's what there is. I want it now.
Okay, after that we have Ooblets, which is, it kind of reminds me of Katamari in terms of the visual style, but it's made by Double Fine, and it has, like, a conga line of little monsters following you.
Okay, I missed this one.
Honestly, I don't think you missed much. It just... Are you looking at it now?
Yeah, this looks very interesting. It looks like the kind of thing that you can't really gather much until you play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or watch, like, full gameplay. Like, if you watch the Let's Play of this, it would probably be very charming. But, like, if you showed, like a very, very, very small trailer of Katamari, people would probably be scratching their heads. And yet, it's a fucking great game that works. So...
Yeah, and somehow this also is inspired by Pokemon and Animal Crossing, but you also run your own shop. And it just seems like... It doesn't seem like there's a good way to describe it without having it in your hands.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to touch more on that as we see more gameplay.
So after that we have Anno, is it 1800 or 1880?
I thought it was 1880, but I could be wrong.
Checking right now, because I'm not getting anything coming up on Steam.
Dude, the PC games were fucking me up with the titles. I'm, like, forgetting a lot of these, but I know I saw them. And, like, I know the title, Anno, but, like, I'm trying to think what game that was. Oof.
The only one I can find is in German. Hold on a second.
Oh, hello.
Why do you have so many syllables, Germany? What do you need them for?
Let's see. Oh, wait, it's Ubisoft?
Yeah, it's Ubisoft. Anno 1800, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I did the smart thing and I just pulled up the PC Gamer page since it's their conference.
Yeah.
It only took me an hour to think of that.
God. So what is this? It looks like a,
Looks like a 4X, or maybe just some grand scale RTS.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Eric's game.
Yep. We'll have to pick his brain next time he shows up.
Yeah, I really don't feel comfortable saying much on this, except it looks kind of pretty.
I don't know a damn thing about it.
Yep.
The thing I do know about is coming up next, Rapture Rejects. Apparently Cyanide and Happiness is getting into the gaming industry.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Did you check out the trailer?
I saw the announcement a little while ago, but I think this is a new trailer, and I think I missed that part. Go ahead.
So yeah, the foul-mouthed stick figures with a bit of a penchant for gore are making their own PC. I don't even know what to compare it to. It just seems like it's Cyanide and Happiness.
It's an adventure game. I think it might be kind of point and clicky, which is more than okay with me. I personally think that'll go over well, because I personally do like the webcomic, and I think it's the right amount of, like, this is fucking stupid, and, like, the obvious, like, haha gore or haha offensive joke, mixed with, like, nuance and maturity, that something like a point and click will work very well. I'm thinking self-aware jokes like Sam and Max, while also being, like, irreverent.
Yeah, I don't know. Their comedy's hit or miss for me, so hopefully the game has
I don't blame you.
like interactivity and not just like, jokes.
And it's cool because this is a new way for them to tackle their humor. They made that card game, which, by the way, fuck every Cards Against Humanity, like, copycat that actually makes it so that you're playing just Cards Against Humanity with different cards. I prefer games like Cyanide and Happiness did with Joking Hazard, where it's like you're putting together a comic, and yeah, it might get a little stale eventually, but it at least has charm. I feel like Cards Against Humanity always devolves into who can make the most offensive joke, and it's not actually funny. So, but in any event, I think Joking Hazard was a really neat way for them to try their humor in a different context, and I think this is another way for them to do that, and I respect that they're trying new things, and I'm excited for it.
Yep. Hopefully it's good gameplay and good comedy in there. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully it's good.
I think they'll handle it, but we'll see.
And closing out the PC Gamer Conference, this took forever. We have Hitman 2.
Yeah, that's interesting, because did Hitman 1 get supposedly cancelled?
What?
It was episodic.
It wasn't canceled. It got 3 full releases. Like, it got one release with a season pass, so you got all the episodes. It got a Game of the Year edition, and then it got a complete edition, quote unquote, with bonus episodes.
Why did I think it got partially canned?
It might have been a better idea if they did.
From what I've seen, it's not that bad, though.
The thing I don't like is, what do they call it? VIP targets, where it's like limited time assassinations. That's what I don't like about it. And also, the thing is, I would not recommend you get it during episode 1. I say wait until they have what they call a full edition ready.
Oh, that's why I haven't bought it yet, for sure.
I mean, if you want to get Hitman 1, they did... Make sure you check between the Game of the Year and the complete edition, because one of them has extra episodes.
Right, so get the one with more stuff, got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think episodic content's a bad idea for that game, because they, from what I saw, did it in a pretty ethical way. Like, it wasn't like a nickel and dimey kind of way. But it still is a little weird to get used to.
Yeah, also, if you're going into a game that's story-based, and it's like, let's say Telltale, we were talking about them earlier. If you don't have a self-contained story per episode, and you need the whole thing to actually tell your narrative, then I don't like it being episodic. Right. But Hitman is really... The story's very shallow, so if you're going into it for that, I think you may be a bit misguided.
Yeah. It's more about just doing the missions.
It's like a sandbox assassination game. If you're going in for the story, then you can do better.
Also, it's always weird for me to recommend things based on, like, a merit that has nothing to do with the developers themselves, but do you know about Hitman Roulette?
What is this?
Okay, so someone made a randomizer, so to speak, where you tell the program, or I think it's a web page, to give you a Hitman run. So it'll be something like, let's say, it picks like a London mission, and it says you have to kill the first target in an electrician's outfit with a pool cue, and you have to kill the second one by dropping him over a ledge while dressed as his bodyguard. Like, it gives you restrictions that you have to, like, you know, Scout's honor, I'll do it this way and not cheat. And it's really fun to watch streamers do it and things like that, and like to race your friends. So it's a keyword
generator that kind of gives you a randomized run?
Yeah.
Huh.
Except, again, it's honor system that you're actually going to do it. But, I mean, let's face it, if you're doing that anyway, Like, if you're going out of your way to do that, and you're cheating, you're only killing your own fun.
So, I guess all there is to say is there's another Hitman game coming out. Also, I think what's interesting is they're showing the same mission they have from their Sniper pre-order DLC, but it is actually open up so you can do this like regular Hitman style and not just as a sniper.
Huh. Interesting.
Whereas Hitman 5, I think it was Absolution, the Sniper DLC they had for that game was a completely separate mission. So...
I wonder how they're going to handle that then.
I can't tell if it's being repetitive or if they're actually showing different approaches. I guess we'll find out in a couple months.
Yeah, more to come on that, I guess.
And with that, we close the PC Gamer Show.
Yeah, that was a busy one.
They had a ton of stuff, like more than Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think
we only
Sony and
have
Nintendo
Nintendo
put together
left.
are going to be shorter.
Yeah, we have Sony, that's right.
So Sony opens, we have the follow-up to past conferences with an epic orchestra and an auditorium, to now we have Hoodie McBanjo in a church. They had to lay the Vita to rest somewhere, and I guess that's why Eric isn't here, because we're talking about the Sony conference.
Oh.
Rip.
So they start with The Last of Us Part 2, and did you guys play the first Last of Us?
Yep.
Nope.
Wasn't as good as everyone said.
Yeah, it's overhyped, and the PS3 version is crap compared to the PS4 version.
See, the PS3 version just felt fine to me. I thought it was so stupid that they made a PS4 version.
PS4 version had a functioning frame rate for the shooting stuff, and
Right.
I never tried the multiplayer, but apparently it's an improvement there as well.
Well, right, but at that point, like,
if you're playing The Last of Us for the multiplayer, I think you're doing it wrong.
and you know, I've been that guy. I really liked BioShock 2's multiplayer, like a lot, to the point where I would still play it today. But at the same time, if it wasn't done well, I wouldn't really give a shit. It's the fact that it was done well that was a nice bonus. Yeah, I don't know. Last of Us 2, yeah, fucking Ellie's doing her thing. I don't really care.
She's a lesbian.
You played the Left Behind
Got a problem
DLC,
with that?
right?
No.
No, I haven't. I didn't even bother.
Theme park, it kind of sets up more of Ellie's character. It makes it so the trailer kiss is less of a surprise.
I knew about it, yeah. But, yeah, it's gonna be more surviving. Yay.
Yeah, so The Last of Us Part 2 has lesbians in the base game, and other than that trailer setup where they put the convention audience in a church and then they had to move them later in the show, like
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they were stalling for time at that table, you could tell they did not plan out how they're actually going to move people.
No.
Oh god, no. Once again, technical difficulties at E3.
Yep. So we're getting more Last of Us. There's no Joel in these trailers as far as I can tell, so I guess this is Ellie a big character, and Joel's probably going to die.
I wouldn't be surprised if they open it with him being dead.
Yeah. So if you like the first Last of Us, then you're getting more of it.
Yeah. I'll probably play it eventually. It wasn't a bad game by any stretch. It was a good game, but I was just so sick to death of it.
It was overhyped as hell. People were saying it's like 11 out of 10, game of a generation, defines the entire medium. It's not that.
It was a 7. Like, it was good. It kept me interested till the end. I did not put it down until I finished it. But
I liked it more than the last Uncharted, if that counts for anything.
I've never played an Uncharted game.
Oh, the early ones you're missing out.
Yeah, no, I'm going to play them at some point. My bottom line with The Last of Us is that, like, I played it, I enjoyed it. The story, I really... It was fun to play through, but it did not stick with me. It didn't stick with me while I was playing it. Especially, like, I would see all the scenes, like, oh my god, the giraffe scene, it was amazing. Like, yeah, it was cool. I don't really care, though. Like...
You could also see anything like that playing your average Cabela's Hunter game.
Yeah. But the context, yeah, zombies. Oh, a giraffe survived. The beauty of nature. Like, I respect what they were going for with that game, but it was lost on me. And maybe that's just why I didn't find it to be an 11 out of 10. But
it's like
I did.
A for effort, C for execution.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of C for execution, maybe we should kill this one right now. Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Nope. Pass.
Oh, speaking of pass, Did you hear this?
Oh God, no! What?
The
What
map
did they do?
DLC is exclusive to the season pass. So either you buy in for $50 or you get none of the DLC.
Honestly, though, I'm really not surprised because here's what happens with a typical Call of Duty game anyway. Game comes out, people buy it, they play it, then everyone starts buying the DLC, and the people who didn't can no longer find lobbies. So they have to buy the DLC anyway. So honestly, they've just made it easier for everybody.
Yep, and this is gonna... Oh, and you can only do it on PS4, by the way. Like, they're not offering the premium pass on Xbox or PC this year.
Wait, so do we just not get DLC?
As far as I can tell, it's like console exclusive pass, which means console exclusive DLC.
Okay, even less of a reason for me to care about a game I had less than an positive amount of interest in.
So I just need to find a way to hang up my middle finger for a couple hours, point it in the general direction of Activision's headquarters.
Yup.
Then again, I don't have any expectations for Call of Duty anyway, so why bother?
Yeah, the last one I enjoyed was Black Ops 1, so... And they were fun FPSs online. I enjoyed them, like, legitimately. But... you're done, guys. You're done. Stop. Also, the logos are just getting dumber and dumber because they just keep adding Roman numeral 1s to it.
It's like, could you not find an intern to actually look up Roman numerals?
Well,
Or
no,
do
it's
you
because
just
they
not
want to
get-
still make it the shield. So they're still trying to make it like that shape.
So you have the V be the shield and the I be someone's raised sidearm or full arm.
Chris, you're stop, you're working. They don't
You're
do
right,
work over there.
You know, I think Call of Duty's done with effort.
They have been for years. Alright, so...
After that, we have Destiny 2's DLC, Forsaken, and they killed the last thing I liked about Destiny, so there's no reason to go in.
And we already talked about Destiny the other day.
Yep, so rip Nathan Fillion's character, and what happened to your face? Moving on, we have Sony doing a flute show, and I put this in my notes, leave the artsy bullshit to the French fucks at Ubisoft and just show your pretentious shit already.
Oh my god. What,
And then they actually
what was
showed
the flute show for again? I don't even remember.
Ghost of Tsushima, which was actually one of my
yeah.
favorite games from their show.
Eh.
It's the guys that do Infamous and Sly Cooper, Sucker Punch.
Yeah, but here's my problem with it, right? I talked to a few people about this, and a bunch of my friends are very hype. Very hype. And I understand that they're very hype. But the reason I don't share their hype, you see, is because that kind of game looks super gorgeous. I look at it and I'm blown away, but I have no desire to play it.
Yeah, I think this is going to set my system on fire since I'm not running a pro either.
Well, that too. But, like, it just... I look at games like that, and a friend of mine made a good point. I was like, well, you know, it looks like it kind of has, like, the Arkham style of combat. And he's like, yeah, but that gets really stale. And, you know...
Just in time for the Ninja Batman movie to come out, too.
Yeah, right? And I feel like my problem with the way that combat system looks is that it's just like you kind of time a couple button presses that don't take that much skill to time, and oh look, you get another cutscene as a reward. Whereas the Muso games, yeah, it's just mash square and occasionally hit triangle, but it's fun and it's like it's engaging.
As long as you're not talking Dynasty Warriors 9, I agree with you.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like the series as a legacy. And when it comes to stuff like God of War, Splatter, the new Splatterhouse, I'm refusing to acknowledge Castlevania, Go to Your Room. They all tend to have a slightly unique feel, and they're engaging. But you get like this new trend with the games that kind of try to emulate Arkham, and it feels like you're just there for the ride. You're not actually doing much.
Yeah, it's like, as long as you remember which button is dodge, you're invincible.
Yeah, and it's not fun. But the game looks pretty, but I don't need a movie with button presses. Or if you do, like, I prefer walking simulators for things like that, because they're still engaging, but you're not lying to me under the guise of like, well, look, it's got gameplay. Like, no, I'm walking, I'm exploring. Let me do that. We're good.
Yeah, I think the best thing we can say about this one is that it's super high fidelity, but we actually need more of the gameplay.
That's the thing, yeah. Until I see more gameplay, it looks like a pretty yet boring game.
Yeah, and with there being no HUD overlay on this thing, either they're going to have to be very clever to make that work, or it may just be a farce.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, don't forget, it could be one of two things. Optional, or it could be just fucking show magic. Which is very likely. I mean, I don't think we've touched on this, but I don't think we really need to. All that needs to be said is, let's face it, they're big company developers. Shit like this gets staged all the time at shows. I don't think any of us are pretending that they're above it.
That's why I liked their conference. It was either 2 or 3 years ago with Uncharted 4. It's like, they had such a bad technical issue that their character was just stuck standing in the demo for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was great.
That felt real. It was great.
Alright, what's next?
Next is Control, which there's a game it reminds me of, but I don't remember the name of all of a sudden. It was on PC and PS4. You play this character that's both an astronaut and somehow looks like Gwendolyn Christie. And what was it called? Prism or something?
Yes, I think so. I think I remember that game.
So it reminds me of that, but other than that, it just seems like it's got some Alan Wake elements, and you're a detective with superpowers.
See, it's so funny. Like, the game looks neat. I'll probably check it out. But, like, everyone goes gaga over that stuff, and I'm just like, you could have just done the detective part, and I would have been sold. I like detective stories.
Yeah, see Detroit Become Human, for an example.
Yeah, like, you didn't have to make him an android for that. Although, I do get why it's compelling for that game, personally. But yeah, I would have played it if it were just a fucking high-fidelity detective story. That's fine.
So we don't really know much about it. It was just a short trailer, really not much gameplay to go off of. Do you guys want me to leave the room while you guffaw over Resident Evil 2 Remake?
No, it's fine. My pants are already wet.
Oh, okay.
So the Resident Evil 2 Remake was confirmed.
Hey, no, a release date was confirmed.
That is true.
Well, no, because it hadn't been confirmed yet that they were actually going through with it.
Well,
they've just been lightly teasing it forever.
No. A couple years ago, they said we're doing this.
Yeah, but it's like
that's confirmed in my opinion.
We didn't know if it kind of like
fell off
because they didn't do anything for years. So.
I mean, it's gonna be fucking awesome. I actually have a lot of faith in this.
The trailer looked incredible.
It really did, and there's gonna be so much stuff that, like, I mean, I still love the original. I still think it, you know, I like polygonal, low poly graphics.
I love the original trilogy. It's like Barry was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, and
who doesn't like Jill sandwiches?
Well, I mean, Barry doesn't. That's why he helped her.
True.
But I think low res adds to horror, but I don't think high res necessarily has to subtract from it. And I think this trailer was a good example of that. Mr. X is gonna look sick. Birkin's gonna look fucking sick. Sherry's gonna be able to take care of herself. It's gonna be great. I think Sherry can hold a handgun now, which is like, oh, God bless.
A competent escort, I'll be.
Uh-oh, cat's in my closet. Cat's in my closet.
Oh, God. Oh, go. But I did not shoot the deputy. Did I do it right? So let's build up. What are we talking about after Resident Evil?
After that, we have Trover Saves the Universe, which it just seemed like a really bad Rick and Morty skit.
Dude, oh my God. Justin Roiland is a cool dude by all accounts. The beginning of Rick and Morty was okay to me, but I'm not really a huge fan. But my God, he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, all he's got is that Michael Cera type humor.
Yeah.
And just like, it's okay for a while, but you need something to shake it up.
Well, and it's okay to be consistent. Like, who am I trying to think of? Look at, guy that I can't think of his name right now.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Matt Groening. Like, yeah, you know a Matt Groening skit when you see one, whether it's in one of his shows or outside of it or something. But, like, they're at least varied. And I'm not defending Seth MacFarlane, but I do find the first half of Family Guy funny, and I actually think American Dad is still funny. And yeah, they're very similar shows that even share a lot of similar jokes and plot lines, but at least they're fucking, like, unique.
Also, with those shows in particular, they're very topical, so they always get a new slew of content to work with, versus the, what's his name, Justin Roiland?
Yeah.
Like, he always just seems to be playing the same, like, neurotic, quirky, quiet, shy thing.
That's, I think, the problem, is that, like, I mean, granted, yes, again, you can make the argument that, for example, Family Guy and American Dad are the same families, just palette swapped. But I see a lot of subtleties and nuances in the show, personally. But whenever I see something new that Justin Roiland does, I'm like, it's not terrible, but you're just making the same joke over and over and over again, in the same voice over and over and over again.
Yeah, and this Trover Saves the Universe thing, its selling point is from the creators of Rick and Morty, and it's got no creativity or humor to it yet.
Yeah.
So what's it being sold on? Style?
Dude, and even worse, the first character, Bathtub Guy, was Rick. And then the dude that came into the fucking room was Morty. Like, he didn't even rip off part of his show. He ripped off the show.
Well, I guess the Rick voice actor needs work now that they're shutting down Lawbreakers.
Oh, fair enough. And, like, so, I have no ill will towards Justin. Like, I actually think he's a funny fucking guy with a lot of potential to keep being funny. But it seems like, just more and more, I think he's getting lucky with Rick and Morty. And I don't want to think that. I really don't.
Yeah, especially when they're talking about stuff like the seasons are not going to be as far apart anymore, and they just signed this, like, multi-season deal with Cartoon Network. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that doesn't wear him out too soon.
It's gonna, though, probably. If going by what we're seeing now, I'm not confident. And so this game has...
I'm still pissed off they cut off my Samurai Jack. Like, their April Fool's shit ruined my series.
Oh my god, you're right. I still need to watch the newer Samurai Jack. I didn't, but...
I will say this, the ending was satisfying but incomplete.
Okay, that's fair.
But it was a great season all over.
So what's after the Justin Roiland?
After that, we have Kingdom Hearts 3. Is now the time to talk about it, or?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm actually pretty excited about. I like the Kingdom Hearts series. I don't like the overarching story. It's kind of how I feel about Assassin's Creed. I am interested in the historical fiction of Assassin's Creed. I don't give a shit about the guy in the machine. I like the Kingdom Hearts idea of, hey, like, go hang out with Disney characters and help them unfuck their worlds. I don't really give a shit about the organization.
Yeah, just so many contrivances and B-plots. It's just all over the map.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, it was fine at first. I was like, oh, I get it. Like, you know, these people are trying to cultivate the shadow monsters and steal people's souls. That's pretty neat. I dig this. And then the plot just Ouroboros itself.
Are we talking about Death Stranding?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
Don't worry, we'll get to...
That's hysterical.
That wasn't a joke.
No, I know.
Speaking of contrived,
you said something about like the plot and like these like. Now, when you said like shadow people, now like I realized what you were talking about, but there were like those shadowy figure things in the Death Stranding trailer.
Right.
So...
No. It's you're not like wrong. It's just funny that you even like accidentally did that. Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful.
Sorry, I had to like come up with a plot to get the cat out of the closet because she wouldn't come out.
Just drug her. That's what catnip's for.
Fair enough. Oh my god.
So yeah, Hearts 3. It's they're adding new ultimate abilities, which are like theme park rides, which is interesting for Disney.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's like they showed one of the Titans from Hercules, and your ultimate on that thing is actually like what's it called? Space Mountain.
Oh, that's cool.
So
now, granted, I know at the end of the day, all of this could be tied back to, like, we want to make money off you, but, like, Disney also kind of puts out the content to get away with it sometimes, Star Wars not included.
Yeah, also considering how closely tied in this thing is to just all these Disney's IPs, it's kind of interesting that they're bringing the park now and not just the movies.
Right, like, this is where I'll give Disney a break. Kingdom Hearts is where you're explicitly expecting Disney to shill. And I'm okay with it.
For every Final Fantasy number that's brought up, there is at least one Disney planet in there.
Right, and I think that's pretty cool. I think this will be a good opportunity to see Frozen in a way that's not hearing Let It Go over and over again. I'm really excited for the Toy Story world. I'm really excited for the Monsters, Inc. world.
Yeah, unfortunately, they killed one of the big surprises, I think, with, I guess, unsurprises now, where they said they're not going to do the Marvel stuff or Star Wars because LucasArts, because Disney didn't make those. They've had interviews since the conference, and they're discounting it now. Which is bullshit, because half of Disney's stuff is based off of public domain fairy tales. They just popularized them.
Can I be honest with you? I don't want Star Wars or fucking Marvel and Kingdom Hearts. I'm sick of seeing both of those things.
With all the Princesses of Heart, you don't want Leia in the mix?
No, I don't. I fucking don't. I feel like the tone is too off. Like...
The tone's been off since 2004.
No. I mean, like, as playing through the worlds. Like, I don't want to play through, like, New York City in a Marvel fucking, or, you know, or what's supposed to be New York City in a Marvel world, or, like, you know, deal with, like, stormtroopers. I want, like, all the stuff has always been, like, the whimsical yet serious, like, Mulan, Hercules, and then, like, some of the actual whimsical stuff, like, you know, like Toy Story. I don't know, man. It just... I don't think you need to force superheroes and Jedi into this one. I really don't. Maybe that's just me. I get why it would be cool, like lightsaber keyblade. It writes itself. I understand that. But I just don't want it. It's bad.
I say if you have the kitchen sink, throw it in, but...
Nah.
And I guess they don't need to use every tool at their disposal. They're probably going to try and make it Kingdom Hearts 4 sometime in the 22nd century.
Right.
They just need to fill out another 20 spin-offs first.
That won't take long. At the rate they're fucking going.
And after that we have Death Stranding, which, speaking of horribly contrived plots with nothing but pretty imagery to back them up while people are confused about what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
We move from Kingdom Hearts to Death Stranding.
So, I don't know how you guys feel about Death Stranding overall, but, like, the wind is out of my sails a bit after PT got shut down.
It just seems like Kojima's being weird for being weird's sake.
Thank you. That's my problem, is, like, everyone, like, is pissing themselves over Kojima, and don't get me wrong, I like Hideo Kojima. I think he's a very brilliant man in a lot of ways. But, like, looking at his catalog, like, I don't want to leave anything out. Hold on. Okay.
There's so many people, though, that praise him to the moon and back. It's like Young, yeah, every time Kojima so much as farts in his general direction gets a 2-hour dissection video.
Yeah. That one really resonated with Taylor.
Also, that was the longest trailer in the entire Sony conference. I put, when does the David Lynch bullshit fetish trailer end? It just, like, has to end like... on that one water bear getting eaten by the blonde lady with the triangle umbrella. It's like...
Oh my god.
Whoa, Metal Gear Online got an arcade release?
What?
That's weird. So, okay, he did the Metal Gear series, which I think got a little out of hand. And into the weird for weird's sake territory, but, you know, whatever. He did Snatcher and Police Knots, which were awesome. Like, it was cyberpunk detective without being weird for the sake of being weird. He apparently did some of the directing on Tokimeki, which was, you know,
really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like a romance visual novel, which is cool. But it shows that he has, you know, he has range. He has range. Zone of the Enders he produced, which fucking awesome. I didn't play a ton of the Zone of the Enders series, but it was basically his take on Gundam, which really cool. And apparently he designed the original Boktai. But again, made a very good action-adventure RPG where he used the cartridge to harness the solar charge of the sun to affect the game. That's thinking outside the box. Giving Norman Reedus a fucking baby in a jar while he walks across a fucking planet for reasons he doesn't know, that doesn't really grab me.
Yeah, Norman Reedus and the funky fetus. You deep throat him with a camera, and then you get mooned by the baby that's also somehow his life counter, and he gets covered in these shadowy handprints, like some sort of Starving Africa ad. And what else is even trying to happen in this trailer? Like, all we've seen in terms of gameplay is him carrying things.
Right, and he, like, the thing about Snatcher, right? If you give me a trailer for something like that, work to find out I know it's just Blade Runner, but I'm giving him some credit here. Find out, like, where the robots are infiltrating and which of your friends they're pretending to be. I get why that's compelling. Metal Gear. Oh, a bunch of terrorists are building a giant nuke bot. Stop them. Oh, wait, there's political intrigue and people who aren't who they say they are. I get why that's interesting. Zone of the Enders. Oh, a bunch of mech battles to fucking find out who's right in an interplanetary council. I get why that's going to be interesting. I only think Death Stranding is interesting because why is he carrying that fucking baby? And that's not enough to sell me on a fucking game. You haven't told me anything about it. PT even was going to be amazing because,
hey, there was a fetus in that game too.
Yeah, but at least it made sense.
Did it though? It talked. It talked.
Yeah, but I at least knew why it was there.
Yeah.
Like, you gave me PT and I played it and I was like, oh, hey, Kojima, I'm picking up what you're putting down. This person is in this house where a guy murdered his entire family and you have to find out why he did it, what drove him to do it, how he did it, and, hey, for good measure, you're going to run into the family along the way. That's compelling. You have given me no reason to care about Death Stranding, except that you made it and there's a baby in it.
I feel like he's going so deep down the rabbit hole of where the things about PT that everybody remembers are like crowdsourcing the problem solving to actually unlock the true ending. And just like that sort of like hive mind internet hype machine is all he's building for now. Especially since he's doing his own studio and he's not beholden to another publisher.
Yeah.
Like, now he's not on a leash. Now he's the George Lucas making the prequels instead of the George Lucas making the original trilogy. He's not going to heel to anybody other than himself.
Right. And I honestly am surprised that, because is Guillermo del Toro doing this one too?
He was in one of the trailers. I don't know if he's still involved.
Right. I think he is.
Probably, yeah.
You know, before it was the two of them working on, a Silent Hill game. But to be honest with you, I'm surprised they didn't just say, fuck it, remove anything that would have been, considered infringement, and just make their own version of what PT was going to be. I don't see why he felt the need to be like, fuck it, let's double down on the weirdness.
Because he's Hideo Kojima. He's George Lucas mixed with David Lynch. This is what happens when he has unlimited funding.
Right. And again, I respect Kojima as, an artist, and he's doing his own thing, and I respect that, but I don't have to like it.
No.
Fair.
I don't see why everybody is so hype over Death Stranding. I actually welcome it. Not in a challenging way, in a genuine, curious way. I would love to hear somebody who has reasons for being hype about this explain their hype to me.
Well, I mean, if you got a couple dozen hours to throw around, just go and look at Young Yea's coverage.
Fair enough. I don't know, only if he promises to talk about farts.
Well, I mean, that baby didn't moon you in the trailer, so who knows?
Oh, man. Fartgate.
So after the Death Stranding mental diarrhea, we have Nioh 2. It's getting a sequel. Okay.
Not much to say about that, except awesome.
I did like
Samurai Dark Souls.
I like how they put the emphasis on the different stances with weapons, so you couldn't just like spec into one loadout. You actually had to make a loadout that was flexible enough for all the different conditions.
Yeah. No, I
That was really
too.
the only thing that stood out to me, though. It's like the art direction was okay, but it didn't do that much to differentiate itself from the other like samurai type games coming out.
That's fine.
So yeah, as long as they just more Neo, I guess, and do more to set itself away from the trends. It don't just be another Samurai Dark Souls, I guess.
Although, let's face it, there are more terrible fates than that. You could do much worse for yourself.
Okay, and I think we're closing on the Insomniac Spider-Man game.
Looks neat. I think I'm very excited because Spidey has had he's been a launch pad for so many good games over the years. Even in like that dwindling era where like LJN was making a lot of stuff for the Super Nintendo and the NES, and they were doing a lot of superhero properties. Some of their games were even decent. I know that sounds weird to say, but I liked Arcade's Revenge, even though it was really difficult and a little weirdly designed. I liked that. Oh my god, the fucking beat-em-ups, even though they're hard as shit. Separation Anxiety and Maximum Carnage. And then, I mean, as far as open world kind of stuff, you had the PS1 and 64 game. You had the sequel to it. The first movie game. Spider-Man had some good fucking games, dude. Even some of the newer ones. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the combat in this one, but the platforming is phenomenal. The visual style is great. And it seems like they're writing it properly as well. I'm very curious what they're going to do with the like villain that seems to be bringing together their version of the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And it's Insomniac as well. I mean, these are the guys behind Ratchet & Clank, some of my favorite games from the PS2 era, so they can handle platforming, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Do we have anything else to say about it?
No, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. It's like Arkham Combat, but everything else seems like it's up and up. On the up and up.
And honestly, Arkham Combat might work for this. This is where I can make an excuse, because the game... I think the reason it worked for Arkham is because a lot of Arkham was exploration, stealth, and similarly, here, a lot of the game is going to be web swinging and exploring. So, like, if the combat system's a little streamlined, that could be fun.
Yeah, it's like, I buy this with the Spidey sense more than I buy it with detective mode for Batman.
Right, exactly. But it still worked for Batman, and the Arkham games are good. I just think that people took the wrong thing away from Arkham, which was the combat. It worked for the Arkham games, but I don't think it's compelling in games like fucking Samurai Wet Dream that everyone had.
Tsushima.
Thank you.
So that closes out the Sony conference, and that just leaves a little bit of Nintendo.
Oh, what a... short but sweet, and it worked for me. I know that, like, you were upset... Who cares? I know you were excited, or not so excited about Smash, Chris. Taylor, by the way, I love you. I'm sorry. I just had to make fun of you. But, you know, I think they gave a decent amount of info on other stuff, even if some of them are re-releases, but...
Yeah, it's like such a short show to spend so much of the runtime on one game annoyed me. But they did have some good stuff. It's just... They also teased stuff last year and earlier that they're no longer addressing, so it's leaving me worrying a bit.
Right, I do agree with that most of all. Demon X Machina.
Don't know what it is, but it looks incredible.
I can tell you what it is. I did some research the other day. I think you're going to be a very happy man, Chris.
Talk to me.
Some of the devs made Armored Core.
Yes!
Uh-huh. Let me double triple fact check that, because I don't want to be a liar. And trust me, I want that just as much as you do, because Armored Core is one of my favorite series. Let's see.
Okay, I can get into this then, because it had a great style going into it as well.
Yeah,
and
no, absolutely.
If it's got Armored Core as the basis for like the gameplay, then I'm in.
Oh yeah. Sakita is known for his work on video games like Monster Hunter Stories, Soul Sacrifice Delta, Fortune Street, and Armored Core 2. In particular, the Armored Core experiences gave him experience within the mecha genre. Yep. Thank you, sci-fi.com. So, yeah.
Like, I need more to go off of, but I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to keep our eye on it, but that's enough to keep our eye on, you know?
Yep. So next up, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 getting a Golden Country DLC.
Say that again?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't know if this is a re-release or a DLC, but
I am ashamed. I've never played a Xenoblade game, and I hear they're incredible.
They're on my list. I never got around to them either.
Yeah.
This one's called Torna the Golden Country.
Yes.
And
it looked really good.
Gameplay, but
the at least what they showed cutscene wise and things like that, it looks very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that it's not just big titty waifus hiding in swords.
Yeah.
So
what's after
unless
that?
anybody else has anything to throw into Xenoblade, we can move on to the next one.
None of us have really played it. It wouldn't be fair.
So next up, we have a recap of Pokemon Let's Go Back to Gen 1, the Milkening. And we also have to pretend the pedometer from Heart Gold and Soul Silver 10 years ago never happened because we need to make the Pokeball controller seem like a bigger deal.
Yup.
That pedometer was free, by the way.
Yes, it was.
I got 2 of them just by buying Heart Gold and Soul Silver at launch. And there was no exclusive Pokemon hidden in them either. It was just a bonus feature. Like, I wore it on my belt when I walked to school. That's it.
I really don't know how they're going to sell this to non-Pokemon Go players.
They're trying to bring Go into it, but the thing is that you can't transfer Pokemon from the Let's Go to the regular Go.
Right.
It's a one-way trip.
Which, so, I think that makes sense, but, like, because then no one would have any reason to play Pokemon Go and walk.
Do we still have reasons to play Go?
Dude, there's a community. I know it's surprising. But trust me, there's a lot of fucking people playing Pokemon Go. We're talking, like, in the, like, millions. It's still one of the most played things on Android, etc., etc. I could go on.
Can somebody hook me up with Elon Musk? I need to find a rocket. But either me off this planet, or I put an explosive payload on it and aim it back at us.
Oh god. Taking yourself down with the ship, huh?
If I'm going down, you're all going with me.
But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look very compelling, and I think it's funny. Remember how I said I was watching a different channel than you guys? I was on Twitch's Twitch channel instead of Nintendo's. Mm-hmm. The show afterwards, one of the girls at the table was literally punching the table while wearing a Pokemon shirt and necklace, and like saying like, "I have a Mew in my bag and he's crying right now." I was gonna bring him out and put him on my shoulder, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, also there's so much hand-holdy bullshit from what they've shown of the Let's Go remakes as well. It's like they're reshuffling the locations for where you find Pokemon so that you can get a bigger type advantage against the first gym leader. They won't even let you challenge the first gym unless you have a super effective Pokemon in your party.
Why?
It's not even a straight remake, it's like baby's first Pokemon now.
And I think that's why a lot of people aren't going to be interested in it, is because it's not marketed as a real Pokemon game. Also, yeah, funny enough,
you first.
I just find it funny that, like, Pokemon has one of the most unforgiving RPG systems. With EV training, IV training, you know,
when you
move
get to the
training.
End game, like a battle tower, or if you try to do competitive, yeah, it's pretty merciless.
Yeah.
But when it gets to just the base game, it's like, you don't need to walk me through every step of this.
Oh, right, but I'm just saying, like, you could even find yourself in a bad situation at the first gym because you didn't train well. And, you know, it's nothing that breaks the game. I think that's part of what makes the Pokemon single-player experience really fun. Like,
oh, this demand that you have a super effective Pokemon at the very first gym. I remember playing Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy Color. It was the first game I ever owned. And if you wanted to challenge that gym with a type advantage, you either got a Mankey, you grinded levels on your Nidoran to get them double kick, or you just dealt with it.
Yeah.
There was no type advantage.
Or you just picked 6 Pokemon to outnumber, what was
Ferox 2. Onyx and Geodude.
Oh, no, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking Gold and Silver. Because that was the bird trainer. What's his fucking name? In any event, fighting still probably would have worked.
Yeah, it's like they're doing all this stuff that just messes with the balance, and they're reshuffling wild Pokemon locations. They're making it so that you can just... It does not seem like it needs to be a remake of Gen 1. It just seems like a very run-of-the-mill Pokemon game.
I don't think a lot of people are going to buy this that don't like the Pokemon Go gameplay loop already.
Yeah, and what does it do uniquely for the Go players? It's like you can put a Pokemon in your Pokeball controller for Go.
And it gives you more content.
But how many people playing Go also have a Switch? Like, this seems like it's a big mobile community, but I don't know about a console community.
Well, Switch is the biggest mobile console right now, other than Android or iOS.
3DS? Is it bigger than 3DS yet?
I would assume so.
I would think by now,
It
yeah.
has to be bigger than Vita.
Well, I could write a platform bigger than Vita.
So yeah, Pokemon Let's Go, it does not seem like it's made for long-term fans of the franchise. It seems like they're really struggling to bring in people from the mobile games.
Yeah, that's probably their strategy.
So, good luck to them. I probably won't play it. I still have my original copy of Yellow.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, and a lot of
probably have to
people were
replace
upset
that.
because they've been teasing a real Pokemon RPG for the Switch for a long time. And
they didn't even say it during the conference. It's just in an interview after the fact, it's coming 2019.
Yeah. And not only is this big for the Switch, but it's also big for Pokemon in general because it's the format people have been wanting. Like the full open world, like
Yeah, we haven't had a
console experience.
We haven't had a Pokemon game even like this since the GameCube with Colosseum and Gale of Darkness.
And even that didn't actually do it the way people wanted to.
Yeah, it was much more limited in the capture regards. XD started to experiment with it with the Poké spots, but
this would truly be the first one that people have been asking for since the series started.
yeah, it's proper style, but it's still not an official entry, which is disheartening.
Right.
It's like, we want a console Pokemon. Okay, we want our Pokemon to be flawless, like in Pokemon Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Okay. And we also want you to, I don't know, maybe give us a fair Pokemon experience that doesn't cater to complete novices and instead treats us like we've actually played these games before. Hold on now.
Yeah. Whoa, now you're asking too much.
Do you have any idea how badly I just want to skip tutorial button in Pokemon games? Because that's what the story is in X, Y, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It's just a tutorial as they move you between the gyms.
Right.
That's the entire story, and they also add in some overpowered legendary mysticism that's being tracked down by an obviously evil organization that somehow a 10-year-old single-handedly takes down. That's the only story they've told since Ruby and Sapphire.
Well, and it's been getting stupid in my opinion because I still follow Pokemon through my friends who play it, and my god, well, literally, gods, like, this Pokemon created the universe, but a 10-year-old caught it, like...
He's like, since Gen 4, they've had the creators of Time, Space, Void, and all of creation.
That's just
Where
dumb.
do you go from that? It's 4 generations later. Where can you go?
Yeah. And once that's established, you have to, like, either retcon, or you have to literally, like, keep that as canon.
Yeah, I need something new from Pokemon. I think this talk of maybe making Pokken more of a main entries type thing where they overhaul the combat, that's going to be vital to it.
Yeah.
And
So
for all the
moving-
hardcore RPG elements in Pokemon, we need that. We just need something new to shake it up.
Yeah. No, I agree. So moving on.
Super Mario Party.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Taylor.
It's not like the shitty format they changed it to anymore.
Theoretically.
Well, they showed, like, the board gameplay, and it was just like,
But let's face it, nobody actually likes the fucking board game.
I do.
You're the only one.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Nobody ever wants to play the board game. They just say, we'll play mini games, but otherwise we're not in.
You're not wrong. I mean, my sister and I still have a couple Mario parties hanging around the house, and we really just do it for the mini games. Like, the board game's kind of incidental.
My problem is, I love board games in general, but Mario Party just handles it in a way that's super unfair all the time.
Yeah, Mario Party has the same problem as Chutes and Ladders or Monopoly, all dependent on the dice rolls, so you get no control over your movement.
But even
And, like-
Monopoly at least has, like, trading elements and things that, like, affect your decision making.
Yeah, it's just Mario Party does not have anything to the board game that can even begin to compete with the mini game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is it looks like they came to their senses and hopefully got away with the going around the board in a fucking vehicle as a group.
Together, yeah.
So dumb.
Here's hoping the lanky purple guy gets in here as well. We need justice for Waluigi.
I know, right?
I mean, hey, Mario Tennis in a week.
Yeah, Waluigi's first appearance in any game was literally Mario.
Yeah.
If there's anywhere for him to appear.
Well, I unlocked him in the demo.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's confirmed, theoretically.
I love how this nonsense meme character that the internet inexplicably loves was first introduced in a goddamn tennis spin-off of a Mario game.
Oh my god, I saw people making jokes about, like, since Waluigi only appears in party games, he should be in Smash, right?
Yeah, Sakurai's already given us more than we can ask for. That's wishful thinking.
Yeah. Also, we would have to get the Melee community to admit party game.
Oh, that's never gonna happen. They actually think they're a hardcore fighting scene.
If you're listening and you're a Melee fan, I don't mind you. If you're listening and you're the Melee fan that I'm talking about, the type of Melee fan, you can go fuck yourself.
I don't even see a reason to go back to Melee.
Uh-oh, they got Chris. One more time?
Me?
Yeah, they got you.
I was saying, I don't even care about going back to Melee anymore because they don't have Bayonetta in that one.
Good point.
It's sacrilege to actually say there's something you miss from the new games that's not in Melee. I'm so sorry. Let me move on to something that's actually, I don't know, intellectually stimulating? Or a competitive game.
Yeah. Go on.
I said that and I realized the next topic was Fire Emblem. That's a bad segue.
Yeah, but hey, the pentagram worked.
True.
Oh, I don't know if you saw anything about that or if it was literally just something my
Yeah, I
friend
saw it in the group where it's just like every Fire Emblem game arranged.
And all the cosplayers standing around it with their switches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that a ton of times for Pokemon.
Yeah, I know, and Animal Crossing and stuff, but I think my friend took the picture, took one of them when he was at a con, and he met up with a Fire Emblem group, because that's his fucking series. So yeah, no, it looks really good. And they're kind of fleshing out the RPG elements, which is really nice.
I have no idea going in. All I know about Fire Emblem is what's in Smash. So.
Right. I know a little bit about it, but again, because I have friends who are, like, obsessed with it. But no, I'm excited.
So, I know you're not excited for the next story. It's a Fortnite port to Switch.
Yep, nobody cares. Move on.
After that, we have Overcooked 2 apparently coming out.
Not really Switch news, but I'm very hype.
Hype.
Yep. Overcooked is a great game.
Yeah.
I just won't be playing it on Switch.
Killer Queen is coming from arcade cabinets, or Killer Queen Black.
Yes.
We have been seeing them everywhere because they show at cons, and we know people in the arcade industry, and
yeah.
Let's just say I've heard that their arcade pricing is a little crazy because the cab is so involved, and I get that, but it's a little hard to populate arcades with it because it's a hard sell for a lot of operators. That being said, I'm glad that they're finally putting it to work somewhere, and it's a cool game.
I've never gotten to try one of these cabinets. How do you think it'll transfer over to the Switch?
Fine. It'll be fine. Because the whole game experience is basically giant screen, standing next to people, yelling about what's basically a modern take on Joust, which is a good thing. With, like, other things thrown in, other influences. But, considering the Switch is very much a couch co-op console, it'll be a great party game. It'll be a great game, period, I think. And I'll probably buy it around release. Good for you guys. Happy for you.
After that, there's another Hollow Knight port apparently coming to Switch.
Yep, again, not really Switch news, except it kind of is. Hollow Knight's a good game. I only started it, didn't finish it, but I love Metroidvanias.
And then there was more for Octopath Traveler, a reminder for the exclusivity, and a demo release this week.
Which, the other day, that alarm that I set, what the fuck? That was what it was for. It was to download the Octopath Traveler new demo.
Is there anything else to say about Octopath, or have we already covered it?
We pretty much covered it. I'll on one of our next episodes, I'll tell you guys about the new demo.
Okay, and with that, there was a montage of third-party stuff and other Nintendo projects that have already been announced, and then we move on to Smash. And what a showing it was for Smash.
Yep. Can I be bold?
Go for it.
I think we did a good amount of coverage to cover E3 in general. I think we should talk about Smash next episode. Because I think this is good for unpacking about fighting games, action games, party games, what they're doing with it being a pseudo re-release, but not really. I think we could talk about this a lot.
Yeah, we'll save Smash for next time so I can brace myself to piss off the Melee fans.
Hey, me too.
That's fair.
Is there anything anybody wants to say for wrapping up? I mean, we never got to those title cards from Bethesda that you wanted to talk about.
This kind of goes in line with my ending arguments on E3 in general. I'll keep it brief, but basically, I feel like these are fun to watch. E3 is fun. It's an excuse. I kind of look at E3 as a holiday, right? It's an excuse to get together and celebrate the things that we love about a certain time of year, or a certain thing, or a certain hobby. But I think people get a little too up in arms about, they did show this, they didn't show that. Us included sometimes. I think with the advent of the internet, this conference has lost a lot of its relevance. There's so much stuff that they showed that has been leaked, that has been discussed already, that has been flat out released, which there's no excuse for, but still. And let's face it, we're gonna get Elder Scrolls 6 news on the internet. We don't need E3 for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a certain excitement that comes with like that 10-second tease they showed.
Oh,
live.
exactly, and I support that. I think it's good to keep people's energy up, but I don't think it's necessary for news.
Yeah, I think the problem is that this is very much an industry trade show, and with the way information is circulated nowadays, it's horribly outmoded by just the presence of social media.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be the old man. But, and even web journalism, when it exists, well. I remember literally needing to read magazines with E3 coverage because it was not only not open to the public and only the press, we didn't have, things leaking left and right. Or even not leaking, announced. They just announce things now on the internet. So I literally had to look at E3 coverage to see what was coming out, what was announced. So, as far as the really big stuff, because that's when they would reveal big consoles, big, new franchises, things like that. I had to follow all that through actual E3 coverage, while now I feel like it's, again, a good excuse. It gave us a kick to do a few episodes in a row that were longer. It's fun. It's a good overall positive thing, but I think we have to temper our expectations for what's going to be announced at E3 and just understand that it might just be a good reason for devs to get up there and show 10 seconds of a fucking trailer because we're in the right mindset to get hype about it.
Here's what I'll say to that. It's where we need to temper our expectations. The way the industry's actually opened up this show, where it's a major consumer event as well, and it's not just for industry pros, it's their job to temper our expectations. Like, when they show off things and they don't all offer any subsequent information, where they offer us incomplete information until the follow-up, where they expect people to drop off and thus accidentally ignore it. I think that this show is emblematic of just how much of a boring, convoluted farce that the conferences have become. Because Nintendo's show may as well have just been a treehouse or a direct. There was no point in them even having an E3 presence, because they do these every couple of weeks or every couple of months. Yeah, there's nothing unique to E3.
Well, and that's why I'm so gung ho about saying it's kind of like Christmas. You should be nice to people all through the year, but it's a good time to remember to love everybody and things like that. It doesn't make it invalid, but it really does make it not necessary.
Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's any unique feature to it, and people getting all hyped up over title cards because they've been so thoroughly marketed to that they accept that as a promise from the people that are trying to get them to spend unreasonable amounts of money on incomplete products.
All right, I have some errands I have to take care of. This was a long one.
Oh yeah, editing this one's gonna be fun.
I'll talk to you guys later, though. I hope you guys liked the 3-part E3 coverage.
Hope you all enjoyed, and catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.